following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Happy Friday. Happy Fri-YAY. Okay, y'all, the rain is moving in. We did not have it in the forecast at the beginning of the week, and I thought we just going to live in an oven. Now we're going to have some 100% humidity to add to this mix. No, it's cooling things off. So thank you, Lord, for the rain. I cannot believe I'm that person that goes, but y'all know we needed the rain. We did. We actually do need the rain, and I am grateful for it. And everybody's happy. And we've got Farmin Fri-YAY for you. We're going to be going to a place that sells farm to fork with my friend Tammy Arender. We're going to talk about future farmers of America and 4-H and the future of food in our country. And Farm Credit is all about helping those organizations. We're going to talk to some folks from the Murfreesboro office of Farm Credit Mid-America. We're going to go to the zoo. We're going to talk about Brooks Healing, and we're going to meet Bubba Bellin. He is a Texas artist and has coined a new genre. It's called Texas Funktry, somewhere between Merle Haggard and Marvin Gaye. We're going to find out what is that a little bit later in this show. But first, we're going to go to the races in Wilson County at the Super Speedway.
The city famous for its music is quiet now, but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Super Speedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th through 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
On two-lane Highway 49 West, a route very popular with motorcycle riders, you'll find O'Brien's Southern Diner.
We have people that travel from Shelbyville, Woodbury, Murfreesboro, lots of Nashville traffic, Lebanon, and, on out. They come from all over.
This eatery is about 4 miles from the town square of Ashland City.
We have 4 different sets of people that come from Memphis and Jackson, Tennessee, just for the burgers and catfish.
Candace O'Brien Beasley believes that cooking like her grandma used to do, made with as many locally grown ingredients as possible, is the key to her restaurant success. And one of her favorite proprietors is Jimmy Sheeran. He runs a Century Farm just a few minutes away from the restaurant.
My grandmama's broccoli casserole.
From the broccoli casserole to the cabbage and butter beans, it's what Southern cooking is all about.
Try to locally source as many vegetables and things of that nature as we can. And so we buy all of our hamburger meat fresh that day. We get our bacon, our country ham's fresh sliced there. Country ham's like that big, hangs off the plate half the time.
And for Margie from Charlotte, Tennessee, that country ham is worth a trip across the county line every time.
They're so friendly and like your neighbors. I mean, everybody's just really nice here.
And the food?
The food is delicious. That just goes without saying.
I invited my friend Michael King to join me for lunch. I had to try the catfish. He got the fried bologna sandwich.
People say you're supposed to cut it, and I say you're just supposed to eat it.
How country are we, and proud of it.
Shut the barn door.
Shut the barn door.
That is actually fantastic. We actually grew up not too far from a catfish farm, Herring's Catfish, and my daddy would drive down there every week to buy catfish. That is fabulous. Now, Michael, you know I'll share my money, my car, my men. I don't share my food.
No, I know.
Twist my arm. Let me think about it. And some of those good fresh tomatoes. Michael, my daddy used to fry up
And doing a skillet?
in that iron skillet
Oh,
and curl up on the edges. It was my favorite thing. It wasn't because we were poor or didn't have anything else to eat. This is what I wanted.
Yep.
Like, I hope that they feel welcome when they come in. I hope they've enjoyed their experience from being waited on to the quality of the food, you know.
I'm Tammy Arender for RFD TV.
Tammy Arender, thank you for letting us re-air your segments. You cover some really cool places, and I want to try that out. Bologna sandwiches. It is the season for tomato sandwiches, which to me have to be on white bread with Miracle Whip. Now, some people like mayo, but I am a purist. For me is white bread, Miracle Whip, salt and pepper, and a nice thick beefsteak tomato. Oh, yes. But thick sliced bologna done in a cast iron skillet. There used to be, you'd have barbecue bologna you could get at Texas over on Foster Avenue in Nashville. That was incredible. I'm going to dedicate that whole story to my friend Wade Hayes, who said he likes fried bologna as much as us, and to Sarah Morgan, who is an artist who's out of Missouri, and she was born in Arkansas, and she said her husband's a Yankee. So she made him a fried bologna sandwich for the first time in his whole life and had him try it. So you can check out her socials, Sarah Morgan. But right now, we're going to talk the future of farming, and that is our Future Farmers of America and the way that our friends and our partners over at Farm Credit Mid-America are helping. When it comes to farming and agriculture, and I always tell you that we have got partners, Farm Credit Mid-America, and we have got Amy Auld from the Murfreesboro office, and now we welcome somebody new to our program. Carter Woodruff is here, and both of you guys are helping people with a dream. I met a whole lot of people at the Homestead Festival recently that have a dream of getting into farming in some way. And you guys are helping them, aren't you?
We certainly are. That's what our goal is.
That is just brilliant. That's just brilliant. I've heard a lot lately about micro farming, and people take a little place and they grow crops or they grow a garden and they make money off a little place. Have you ever heard the phrase micro farming? And is that coming to Middle Tennessee, or maybe it's here and I don't know about it?
It's already here. There's a lot of people who like to do that, especially with all the popularity of the farmers markets and people wanting to, promote the what they do on their own in the local area and the support that we get from buying local, the farmers markets have really helped those people who are doing more of what you would consider a micro farming. So it's definitely here in Middle Tennessee.
The concept's been around for a long time, and if you really think about it, we've come into the age of bigger operations in the last 30, 40 years. But, you go back in the early 1900s when we were really an agrarian society and people were working off of small land use. I read a book, I just reread it from a few years ago. It's called 10 Acres is Enough. It was written in 1879. It was a guy that had 10 acres outside of New York City, and he built his whole business around using that 10 acres. He supplied income for his family and his children, and later on his grandchildren, and it was a full-time venture for 10 acres. 10 acres.
Isn't that beautiful?
We can do it today, too.
We all hear about those farms that are out there. There's one guy who had like a quarter acre and made something like $400,000 a year off of it. And, knowing what you're doing begins first with going to people who are knowledgeable about helping you get started. And that's what eFarm Credit is all about. Farm Credit Mid-America has been around for a long time, helping a lot of people get their dreams. You're in the Murfreesboro office. How do they find you?
They can look online with our efarmcredit.com. Google search Farm Credit in Murfreesboro, and the phone number will come up and they can call us that way.
Anytime I'm involved in this industry in any way, shape, or form, whether it's judging a show or participating in one, I can honestly say, and I truly believe this, that I have yet to meet what I would call a bad kid yet. And tonight's no different. Everybody is polite and just well-mannered. Let's give all these young exhibitors a big round of applause. I get asked a lot of things about this industry, but one I get asked a lot is why we do it. Why do we drag cattle over the country, or why do we get up and pull calves in the middle of the night? And the older I get and the older my kids get, that question's easier to answer. It prepares them for life. Life itself is a competition, and in that competition, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. I think if you take anything home from tonight, it's this: learn from your losses. You're going to lose a lot more than you win. Win humbly. And when you win, enjoy it, because it's a lot of hard work involved, and it doesn't come around that often.
.4-H is one of the most incredible organizations, and so are Future Farmers of America. Those two are really, I think those two organizations are responsible for keeping our food sources alive and, learning how to grow our own stuff. That's what everybody's interested in right now, because we don't like being vulnerable. Going to a superstore like Walmart and seeing empty shelves is not something we as Americans are comfortable with. So we as Americans are getting comfortable with digging a hole in the dirt and putting something in it and learning how to plant. Well, if you want to go and see some beautiful gardens at night, the Nashville Zoo has amazing botanicals as well as the zoo animals, and they have night visions, and we don't have much longer to take advantage. So I want to just make you aware, night visions coming to a close very soon, so make sure you don't miss out.
Yes, we love nighttime at the zoo. It is just such a different atmosphere, such a whole different vibe with your friends and family. And we have night visions that started last week, and it will be here till the end of July. And night visions, we describe it as a mind-bending, dreamlike experience. It's kind of you're experiencing different light shows paired with unique music and just something like you've never seen before. Most of our animals are in their nighttime quarters and they're sleeping for the evening. However, we do have our flamingos that will be out for the duration of the event, the entire time it's running. And we also have our Unseen New World exhibit, which is home to our reptiles, amphibians, some mammals that will be open about an hour into the time of night visions. We start about 7:15, 7:30, and it ends about 10:30, but it will get even later into July. We'll stay open until about 11:30. We do have adult beverages. We have beverage carts along the path as guests are strolling, checking out all those cool night shows, our night scenes. You can get beer, margarita, and some seltzers and just have a good time. We have our food carts open, available for snacks like pretzels and popcorn, and we do have our dining options available as well. So admission to Night Visions is $19 for kiddos and $23 for teens and adults.
Hey everybody, I'm Cara Hogan and I'm the Executive Director of the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. The Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is a 3-day music event in and around Gatlinburg and the Smoky Mountains, August 18 through 21. The festival is all around Gatlinburg and surrounding areas. There are free performances with 100 #1 hit songwriters and artists on stages like Ole Red, Skylift Park, Old Smoky, the Gatlinburg Inn, Park Vista, and many more, including the new Shine Shack. The Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is made up of over 25 #1 hit songwriters. We also have selected songwriters from all levels. Some are new to songwriting, others have 5, 10 CDs. They're playing all over the city, and you can actually sit down and get to know your favorite songwriter, the story behind the song. So if you're interested in songwriting, you can actually set up a workshop with a hit songwriter and learn the craft from the ground up. We do have free songwriting events throughout the city every day. There are a few that are paid. Some of those you can reach if you're a member. Membership includes newsletter and perks, discounts. All of those things are available if you're a member, and you can find out about membership at www.gatlinburgsongwriters.com. One of the greatest things about the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is that you can sit down with songwriters like Tony Arata, who wrote The Dance for Garth Brooks, or Steve Dean, who wrote Watching You for Rodney Atkins. Last year we had Shane Stevens, who was here with the song Fancy Like, which was an Applebee's ad, and it went #1 during the festival. You could be right there with those songwriters and hear the backstory of where those songs came from. Other songwriters include Will Nance, Brady Seals, Pete Salas, Jerry Salley. We have Brian White, Danny Wells, Karen Williams, and we also have local favorite Bobby Tomberlin, who's performed here for years and years at Crystal Creek. He wrote One More Day by Diamond Rio. So plan your trip today for August 18 through 21, 2022 to Gatlinburg to visit the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. See you there.
That is the sweetest festival. You go and stay in Gatlinburg, and the Gatlinburg Inn, where Rocky Top was penned, right there at the Gatlinburg Inn. Felice and Boudleaux Bryant penned that song right there. And it's just this wonderful little place. And it, after the shows, which finish fairly early, after all the shows, all the porches fill up. All the lobbies fill up of people who just show up at the festival, and they all bring out their instruments and they hang out with the hit songwriters and just play music together. And you learn a lot, you make contacts, and literally some people develop co-writing relationships with these hit songwriters that they wouldn't ordinarily even get a chance to meet. So that's the difference between that and any other songwriting festival I have ever been to. There is a networking with people who show up as an audience member to connect. And that's what being a member of the Gatlinburg Songwriters is all about. A lot of people checking in today. John Blackwell, glad to have you with us. Yeah, the weather has definitely moved in. Steve Burney, good to have you here on a Fri-YAY. And Brenda Scott, always nice to have you. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for following and spreading the word on all the good things. Hey, I'm going to Ireland. and I'm going to take you with me should you want to go. I've got some details, and we'll be talking about that next. But first, my partner in crime, Brenda Willis, has the most talented kids I've ever seen. And this is her son, Jeremiah, and his lovely wife.
Oh, look at those smiles, sun on the waves. I almost taste the salt in the air. Oh, and doesn't it feel like just yesterday was our second date? And I still get nervous when you hold my hand. It still feels perfect when you ask me to dance. When the colors fade from these picture frames, when my hair turns gray, the seasons all change and we've seen better days. Whatever this life puts us through, baby, I'll still love you. Cry, we're gonna fight, oh, but we're gonna live, maybe have a few kids. Whatever happens, I promise you this. When the colors fade from these picture frames, when my hair turns gray, the seasons all change and we've seen better days. Whatever this life puts us through, baby, I'll still love you. When the sun does its damage, the paint on this house turns to rust. When the future's the past and there's no more breath in my lungs, when the colors fade from these picture frames, when my hair turns gray, the seasons all change and we've seen better days. Whatever this life puts us through, whatever time tries to undo, yeah, baby, I promise you, I'll still love you.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. They're so wonderful. The Willis, that whole Willis family, they're incredible. And Brenda and I are going to be doing an Ireland tour, and we're going to take you guys with us. And everybody's been saying, oh, what are the details? We're going to stay in a castle. We're going to go down, fly into Dublin. We're going to go around, and music is the most important part for me, but we're also going to go see music and animals. So we're going to see a border collie demonstration. We're going to go to a farm and see how the border collies work. And I'm trying, there is a donkey sanctuary over there. And I'm trying to get in on that. And of course, beer. You're going to, we're going to go to the Guinness factory, because that's what you do. You're in Ireland. You got to have the real stuff. And if you go to my friend Dave, he and Fritz put together the most amazing trip for us, and along with Brenda Willis. So go to enrichmenttravel.com, and we're going to go Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way with Nashville's Devon O'Day, April 15th through the 23rd of 23. We're going to let all this mess get out of here. And all I've asked is that musically, if I've got to see Shane Hennessy, just about one of the best guitar players I've ever seen. He and Tommy Emmanuel, check them out together on YouTube. Usually we get a private show with Shane, and that's what I'm hoping. But April 15th through the 23rd, and we're going to have so much fun. Enrichmenttravel.com is how you get information, and they'll tell you all about it. And Dave works everything out. I don't know. Maybe we'll get t-shirts. I don't know. but I do know that the last time we went, everybody wants to go back. So, y'all, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. I don't even know how to explain how good he is, but I've adopted him. He doesn't know that, but he's mine, and I want to share him with the whole world. Bubba Bellin was introduced to his music, and I fell in love with his musicianship, plays steel guitar amazingly well, but guitar and lap steel and all the stuff. And he played yesterday a marathon of studio sessions. So we almost didn't get to celebrate the debut of his brand new video. Bubba Bellin, how are you?
How's it going?
Oh, you know what? We're good. We are good. We're good. And I'm so glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, you're in Texas. Have you recuperated? Tell people what you were doing yesterday. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's not that crazy if you're a Nashville session musician. They probably do that 8 days a week. I was just doing pedal steel sessions, so it's actually the same producer who I'm going to be cutting a full record with in July. So he's got a record that he wanted pedal steel on, and so if you're unfamiliar with that world, I go in there and set up my steel guitar in the studio, and had never heard the songs, hadn't sent them to me, and just I laid down the pedal steel parts on 6 songs.
I always say, I was part of a wonderful music for kids seminar, and we had all these instruments, but I saw these parents get freaked out a little bit when they had a kid who didn't go toward the ukulele, didn't go toward a guitar. They went to the steel guitar, which was at the time the most expensive instrument that we had that day that we were showing out. But you gave me a new way to look at that. When a kid gets interested in steel guitar and the money that you spend in it, tell me a little bit about why you think it's still a good investment in that kid.
I think it's the best investment there is. I've always loved the steel guitar my whole life. Kind of a long story. The whole reason I started is you can kind of see that this finger, I won't show you because I don't want to flip off your viewers, but I tore that tendon playing football in high school. And it was like straight down. The doctor said, if you want to play guitar again, you have to keep it in this brace for like 4 months, then do physical therapy. Normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but I played guitar. And so I couldn't really play guitar. And so I was like, well, I would love bluegrass. This was in high school, loved country music. So I bought a cheap dobro to kind of teach myself and played dobro and lap steel. And then fast forward 5 or 6 years, and I was writing songs and playing gigs, but still had a day job or a night job as a waiter. And my dad was like, Bubba, you need to go buy a steel guitar and learn it, because then you'll be able to quit your day job as a waiter, and then your day job will be playing steel guitar, and then you'll play your own shows and write songs. And it was the best advice maybe he's ever given me, because I bought it, and I locked myself in my house for like 30 days, taught myself, and then went out and played just some songwriter nights, sitting in with people. And I was not good, hacked away at it after just picking it up. And the first time I brought it out, people were like, hey, can you come play with me this weekend? I got like a couple gigs. And I was like, and so I with a George Strait, Garth Brooks combination tribute band, which this is kind of a good example. I won't name their names, but for the first set, we went out in black pearl snaps with a kick drum head that said the George Strait cover band's name, and the singer was dressed like George Strait. And then we'd all take a break, change into white pearl snaps, change the kick drum cover to a Garth Brooks cover. Come back out, he was dressed like Garth Brooks, and we'd be a Garth Brooks tribute band. The whole thing I thought was pretty corny and cheesy, but I had to learn all these George Strait pedal steel kickoffs and Garth Brooks, and I took the gig not being able to play at all. That's kind of how my musicianship works, because I was never really one for school, music school, or I just kind of take gigs that I can't do and then force myself to learn how to do it.
I've heard this over and over and over. Ira Dean, who was with Trick Pony, and now he is out on tour with Aaron Lewis. He said, when they asked him to play bass, he had never held a bass. And he said, yeah, I play bass. He went and bought one. And in a weekend, taught himself to play bass and went out, and then he became listed in the Bass Player magazine as one of the top 6 bass players in the world. And he's like, wow, this is like, say yes and then figure out the rest. And that's the way you've done things. You call
For
yourself
better or for worse, that's the way I've done things just about my whole life.
that, but it's working for you. Let's talk about your.
You can make a lot of money playing steel guitar. So yes, they're very expensive, but it's so in demand and there's not that many players that I recommend anybody of any age, if you're interested in it, if you play guitar, even if you don't, buy one, take lessons from me, and you'll and I do offer stock lessons, but and you will be, I was playing gigs and making money very, very quickly. And what was a very expensive investment paid for itself very quickly. So
I love it.
I released a couple singles last year of my own, of songs that I wrote, and traded studio time with the producer for steel sessions.
Wow. How crazy good is that?
I was like, hey man, can I barter some sessions for some time? And he was kind of like, here we go again. Another broke musician can't pay me. And I was like, I play pedal steel. And he was like, okay, sure. I got like 8 songs that need pedal steel. So yeah.
Yeah. It becomes currency. Talent becomes currency. Hey, let's talk about really quick. You described yourself somewhere between Merle Haggard and Marvin Gaye. Yeah. Let's talk about funktree, Texas funktree. You have coined the phrase and created this genre that's kind of all you, and yet you have a playlist on Spotify and Texas funktree or funktree classics that's going great guns. Tell us what this sound is and what it sounds like.
Well, it sounds crazy, funk country, R&B country. But if you go to that playlist, if you go to my Spotify, Bubba Bellin, and look at my artist playlist, Funktree Classics, you'll see there's George Strait, Dolly Parton, Don Williams, Chris Young, Cody Johnson. So the sound of R&B and funk, if you listen to the best 70s country, it's all funky as heck. I mean, they were listening to funk R&B.
Conway Twitty was a master at it, a master.
And even I think a lot of the session players like Reggie Young had a lot to do with coming from a soul background. And I don't know if it was super intentional, but they were like, we're going to cut country music that's really funky. And that just happens to be my favorite country music. And then I guess a couple of years ago, maybe during the beginning of the pandemic, I mean, I always liked, who doesn't like Motown? I mean, I feel like everybody likes Motown.
Yeah.
You know, most universally, but I never really dug into it. And I watched this Muscle Shoals documentary, and it was like something clicked in my mind, and I just listened to old school R&B and soul for the next 3 months and started getting obsessed. I was a chicken picking Telecaster pedal steel player and became obsessed with Nile Rodgers and all these funk and R&B guitar players, and somehow weaseled my way into playing guitar and singing in a Motown soul cover band where I'm the only white dude, and writing songs that were like R&B kind of chord changes with country R&B melodies and country lyrics. And, I never really, I love 90s country too. That's a huge part of my sound is.
Well, you put the two together with a brand new single, Let Me Love You, and it's a remake. This is not an original song for you, but this is a remake, and it's a throwback to a kind of a special time in your life. It was originally put out by Mario.
Yeah, I mean, people of my generation, it's kind of like it was probably the first song that I danced with a girl to in a middle school dance. So when you hear the original song, or just hear the song in general, for me, it conjures up Axe body spray, Abercrombie polo shirt, all the girls on one side of the gym, all the guys on the other side of the gym, and then an awkward middle schooler being like, would you like to dance with me? And so it kind of has that, certain songs are nostalgic, that they just are for almost everybody. And I was actually hanging out with one of my friends in Arizona, and he played it, and I was like, this is a great song. And so I started covering it, that song, and then Pony by Genuine, kind of as a joke, not really a joke, but I've always liked to take cover songs and just change them, keep the melody the same, but interpret them my own way. So I started doing them live, and they went over really well. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut these. So I cut Pony and Let Me Love You's out. The video just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think that kind of sums up. To me, I just started listening to all these, R&B and soul songs and country songs. And I realized that what makes them both great is the same. And they're really so similar. And there's such a cross of the genres from Ray Charles and Bobby Womack and Slow Hand with Conway Twitty. I mean, there's just been this interplay for forever, pretty much. But it's always kind of under the surface. And I was like, I don't know if anyone's gonna like it, but it was exciting to me. So I'm
gonna tell y'all, if you ever want to kitchen dance with someone you love, turn on this and see what your love does whenever they hear this song. I'm just going to tell you, this is the song, this right here. And we're going to play it. We're going to close our show with that. Thank you for your time, Bubba. I want you guys to follow, subscribe, share everywhere he is. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Spotify. You can find him everywhere music is. Let Me Love You is the new single.
FarmersOnly.com.
Hey, we just did our thing with 4-H and because it's our Farmin Fri-YAY show. We did our thing with 4-H and future farmers. You know, have you ever been a part of those?
Well, no, but I did play a fundraiser 2 weeks ago for the Tarrant Ag fundraiser, which is the FFA and 4-H in Fort Worth, Texas, where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of a fake cowboy. I always wanted to ride horses and started doing it in college. And I was joking. I said, on stage, I was like, 4-H and FFA were a huge part of my life. I'm just kidding. I grew up in a suburb where the best sports team was lacrosse. And so I'd like to think that if there were opportunities like 4-H and FFA at my high school, I might have a real job right now. So keep these opportunities going.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're going to close with playing your brand new video debuting right here. We had an exclusive premiere with you I saw last night with Music Crowns out of the UK. And they're a little bit ahead of us. So in the United States, this is our debut of Let Me Love You. It's a brand new video. Bubba Bellin, we love you very much. And thank you for sharing your music with us.
Hope you enjoy it.
I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt? I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on his shirt. You don't believe his stories. You know that they're all lies. Bad as you are, you stick around, and I just don't know why. As if I was your man, baby, you never worry about what I do. I be coming home back to you every night, doing you right. And you're the type of woman deserves good things. Wrist full of diamonds, handful of rings. Baby, you a star. I just wanna show you you are. You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. Baby, good love and protection. Make me your selection. Show you the way love's supposed to be. Baby, you should let me love you, love you, love you, love you. Hey, hey. Your true beauty's description looks so good that it hurts. You're a dime plus 99, and it's a shame. Don't even know what you're worth. Everywhere you go, they stop instead. It's just so bad, and it shows from your head to your toes. Baby, out of control. And if I was your man, baby, you never worry about what I do, 'cause I be coming home back to you every night, doing type of woman deserves good things. A wrist full of diamonds, handful of rings. Baby, you a star. I just wanna show you you are. You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. Hey, but you deserve better. You know you deserve better. We should be together. With me it's forever, girl. So can we make this thing let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. And baby, good love and protection. Make me your selection. Show you the way love's supposed to be. Oh, baby, you should let me love you, love you, love you, love you, hey, hey. Baby, I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt?
Ooh, y'all, that's a sexy song. BubbaBellin.com. Check it out. Follow, subscribe, share wherever you find him. And of course, I guess you can get a date at farmersonly.com. Y'all have a great weekend. The storms are moving in. They're going to move out just as quick. Just got a phone call that my goats are out. So y'all, crazy, crazy day. Enjoy. Have a great rest of your weekend. Make sure you try to stay cool wherever you are. Be safe. Be kind. Remember, you are loved.
Nothing like the sunrise with your coffee in the morning. Or taking a good book off the shelf. Another thing I love the most than being on my own is together with everybody else. Together, like it's early Sunday summer. Together, on my front porch with my friends. Together with who's ever there, standing next to me. Yeah, together is my favorite place to be.